This week I set out to answer one seemingly simple question. How do I make the perfect chow mein, or Chinese-style fried noodles? The one thing we all want is beautiful, slurpable, chewy noodles, each one nice and separate. Because if you're anything like me, you probably have ended up with one big sticky goopy ball instead of fried noodles, but no more. As you may have guessed, the secret of course lies in picking the right noodles. If you happen to live in a place with a large Chinese community, congratulations. You might actually have access to a market that sells fresh noodles. Or even more conveniently, your nearby grocery store might sell special, fresh, Chinese-style pan-frying noodles or fresh wonton noodles. But let's be honest, most likely that is not the case. And so, just like me, you have to find another way. I believe there are two. The first and easiest way is buying this type of noodle. It will say quick cooking noodle on the package, and while I'm not exactly sure what kind of magic they do to them, these guys are awesome. All you gotta do is soak these noodles in warm, but not hot water. That was a bad idea. Soak them in warm water for just a few minutes and they're gonna loosen up real quick. What I like to do then is to toss them with a little bit of vegetable oil, and all that's left to do is stir fry them with whatever ingredients you want to add for like 3 to 4 minutes, and presto. The texture of those noodles is surprisingly decent, the flavor, meh. This might be fine for a quick weeknight chow mein, but no. Let's move to option number 2, which is where things get serious. That's right, we'll be making the noodles ourselves, and trust me, for a dish that's 90% noodles, it's worth it. So this is gonna be a very stiff dough, and I always like to start those off in a food processor. To my regular all-purpose flour, I will add just a little bit of salt, and that's already all the dry ingredients we're gonna use. For the wet ingredients, it all starts with the eggs. I think one of the keys to success if you want firm, chewy noodles that can survive a few minutes of stir frying is a high protein content, and the eggs will help us achieve just that. To loosen the eggs, I want to add just a tiny bit of water, and then look at that. For the second video in a row, food coloring is making an appearance on the channel. If you check the ingredients on the store-bought stuff, that's exactly what they do. Add your egg mix to your dry ingredients, and now let the food processor do the work. You're not gonna get a perfect dough or anything, but your food processor will help you do the hard part. Now get that crumbly-ass concoction out of there and transfer it to a Ziploc bag. To those of you who've made ramen at home before, you probably know the drill. If you use the full force of your body weight for kneading, even the driest of doughs can magically come together. I like to readjust the dough from time to time, but overall, after 3, maybe 4 rounds of kneading like that, you should have completed the impossible. Which means it's time to crank out the good old pasta machine. This part of the process is always a bit chaotic, I find, but in the end, it's just about passing your dough on the widest setting at first. You can always help yourself with a rolling pin if you need, and then gradually going thinner until you've reached the desired level of thickness. This is when I like to dust my sheets of dough with some cornstarch, and be sure you're actually using starch. It's much better than flour for this. And now check this out. This is not actually that thin, but that's on purpose. Different scenarios call for different noodles. When it comes to ramen, I like thin and delicate noodles, but the pan-fried variety, I really want those to be thick and robust. But don't forget that your noodles will expand by about 50% once they're cooked, so don't overdo it. Speaking of which, let's cook our noodles. No matter which noodles you choose, you want to undercook them. These fresh noodles need 90 seconds normally, so I went for somewhere under 60. And then you want to make sure to run your noodles under cold water to stop the cooking process. Just remember this, a little undercooked is perfect. And now just look at our noodles. They're chunky, they're bouncy, they're firm, and beautifully colored. So let's make a quick sauce, and then we can move on to stir frying. There are countless sauces you could make here, but here's the one I like. Starting out with some sugar, we add light and a bit of dark soy sauce, followed by oyster sauce, a bit of Maggi if you have that around, a pinch of MSG for good measure, a small drop of sesame oil, and a small pinch of white pepper. This is gonna be your chow mein sauce, which for now you can just set aside. But now let's talk stir frying. I'm gonna add my ingredients in 3 stages. Stage 1 will be sliced onions, scallion whites, as well as mushrooms. Stage 2 will be some cabbage with shredded onions. And finally, we got stage 3 with some mung bean sprouts, sliced bamboo shoots from a can, and scallion greens. By the way, you know what those mung beans reminded me of? I recently made this cookbook and it has a couple of recipes inside that feature mung bean sprouts. But because they never come out as plump and pretty as you want them to, I remember producer Grace had to sit there and trim every single mung bean sprout one by one for like half an hour. Anyway, sorry for the quick plug. If you enjoy my channel, you're probably gonna enjoy this book. You'll find it anywhere you can order books and of course in the link below. You may have noticed I only add veggies to my fried noodles, but that doesn't actually mean my favorite chow mein is vegetarian. While I like to not add extra protein to let the noodles shine, lard is actually my fat of choice here, giving the whole meal a wonderfully savory fragrance. And the rest honestly couldn't be simpler. Go in with your 3 batches of veggies, around 30 seconds to a minute of stir frying between them. Then add your freshly cooked noodles and stir them in carefully. Do not worry if they stick together a little bit, they should come apart in just a few moments. Lastly, turn off the heat, mix in your stir fry sauce, and that chow mein is everything I ever wanted. What I really want to know though is what you guys like adding into your fried noodles. I know tons of people like adding beef, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Or maybe, just maybe, you guys are team veggie just like me. Hope you enjoyed this recipe and I'm gonna see you in the next video.